Good morning. This morning I decided I would like to play Soccer Time in my brand new Time Sport Simple Series book, but my book has not arrived yet in the mail, and so I'm using the PDF here and recording the screen. Also, I used, so my friend and subscriber had created the some of the greatest teams in history file, which I have put up in the Google Drive for those who want to snatch it. They are, of course, rated for the free version of this game, but I wanted to use the new revised Simple Series Soccer Time. So I re-rated them using his values. And I'm going to play Ajax, 1971-72 Ajax against the 75-76 Rangers. Ajax was a powerhouse. The Rangers were no slouch. But in their matchups, Ajax game value is 2-0. The Rangers game value is 1-0. And so I'm going to roll randomly to see which team kicks off here. The Rangers are the home team, so I'm going to let Ajax choose odd. And it's odd, 5. So Ajax is going to kick off. They're using the 2 chart for the first half. They need to roll 4 better to score a goal in the first half. 6, they're going to get 1+. Holy cow. So they get an added time chance. So Ajax with an added time chance. Now the added time chance uses the enemy goalie only. 0. And again, the Rangers have a damn good goalie. So I have to roll a 6 to get it. 2 goals in the first half for Ajax. 5, very close, but fortunately Kennedy saves the added time chance. But Ajax scores 1 goal in the first. Let's see what the Rangers do in the first half. The Rangers use the 1 column. They need a 4, 5, or 6 to knot it up, but they don't have any added time opportunities. 4, they will get a goal. Folks, let's go ahead and find out who scored the goal for Ajax. 4, that's going to be Van Dijk. I don't know exactly how that's pronounced, but I'll put it here. Van Dijk. I'm assuming it's going to be pronounced Dijk. It's just not spelled that way. So the first goal of the game, I should say in the first half, was scored by Van Dijk. What? And you can see what I did was I found these, I found their main players with goals, and I assigned them a 2D6 number for their scores. And Rangers, 8, it's going to be John Stone, and he's a defensive forward. That's awesome. John Stone is going to score. I bet you that scored on I bet you $1 million that is scored on a corner kick or something right there. John Stone getting the pass in from the corner, and then he drives it in off the top of his head or something. I don't know. But it's 1-1, folks, in the first half. The first half is over. We did have added time, so I would note this like this, meaning that they did have added time opportunity. It just didn't go down. Right? So then I'm going to put a slash here for second half. And we're going to let the Rangers start the second half. Again, they're using the 1 column. They need a 4, 5, or 6 to score. 6, they're going to score again, folks. Goal! And 7, Parlane, who is their forward. He is their best scorer in that season, or those seasons. Parlane, of course, will give them a 2-1 lead. Can they beat Ajax? Ajax is using the 2 column, and they need a 4, 5, or 6 to tie it. A 6 would give them a chance to win in added time. 5, they're going to tie it, folks. Holy cow, what a great game. And 8 is going to be scored by Cruyff. Goal, Cruyff? Again, forgive me if I butcher these names. I have never heard. It isn't like I was watching these guys as a kid or listening to them on the radio or TV, so I honestly am not certain how. But I'm going to assume Cruyff. Cruyff. Folks, we got to say, technically, this would be a draw, right? Oops, I don't want to do that. So the final right? Final time right down here. Full time would be 2. Full time, Ajax 2, and the Rangers 2. Now, if this was a playoff, I would do what's called the shootout, and each team would automatically get shots against the opposing goalie. Both goalies are brilliant. They're both zeros. So it'd be in that shootout. Or we play extra time. You could just simulate extra time to overtime. But either way, you only use the goalie score. So both teams would be in a tough either shootout or extra time trying to score on that 6. But as it is, I just wanted to play Ajax versus the Rangers. So I want to thank our friend for making these teams. I just went and found them on the internet and gave them goal ranges on the 2d6. I revalued them based on the new game book ratings, but I did that not based on the ratings he assigned them on his charts. I did it based on their win percentage. So Ajax, if I was going to run this league, Ajax would be up there in the perfect. So this 200 would be the perfect value for a team that had a 950 or greater win percentage. Of course, the Rangers 867, which is incredible, but it would drop them in that group. It would bring them down quite a bit based on my winning percentage rating system. You can just rate them based on the goals that he provides. But again, that would be a letter grade, which doesn't transfer to this game. So I had to re-rate them, but simple. Anyway, again, the goal, I said this, and in the book itself, I've said this in videos, but I've also described in the book. This book was meant to be carried. It was meant to allow you to flip to the page with a die and a couple of simply rated teams and finish games in a very quick order. You can add as much depth and detail like rosters and winning 11 and starting quarterbacks and starting 5 in basketball and your lines in hockey. You can even award them assists. You can figure out a way to do assists and all that. I don't pretend that these games were designed for historical replays. So I don't spend my time recreating those rosters. But I do use my games to replay the 1967 AFC Championship game. And I know who the quarterbacks and stuff were, so I always populate my box score with those details. So anyway, I just wanted to share this this morning. I'm dying to get my books in the mail. They haven't arrived. Matter of fact, I don't even think they've shipped. So it's starting to eat on me because I want to start a league, and I've even got teams made, and I want to pick up my Grand Prix racing series, but I want to use this book, I want to use all these versions of the games for my future leagues right now. So I'm kind of hankering for this book to get here. But anyway, very cool. We get a added time chance. So this would have been Ajax's opportunity. That added time opportunity to get a second goal would have put them pretty much out of reach until Parlane had tied it, and then Cruyff would have won the game 3-2. As it were, that goalie, Kennedy, stopped that added time chance, and they hold the they hold the visiting Ajax to 2, and we're going to end up with a final time score of 2-2. Game shouldn't take long. Of course, I've spent time creating this, taking these top goal scorers and assigning them percentages. The percentages based on 2d6, right? Not all these guys play together. For instance, Ajax was literally on a different winning 11. Yeah, Ajax had the trifecta that year. They won all 3 of the major trophies. But Cruyff, on one of the starting lineups, is not actually on the first starting lineup. But he had more goals than anybody on the team. So I don't know if that's because he was promoted or if that was just a different roster lineup based on the tournaments they were in. I don't know. I just don't know enough. But I do know they're the real players, and I assigned them based on goals. Cruyff had 33 goals in those three in the season and in the other two tournaments. He ended up with 33 goals on the year. So this guy's pretty formidable. And again, forgive me, I don't know him. I'm sure in the history, those footy fans out there will know who this guy is. But again, I'm not exactly certain, but I do know he was, I think, a Danish pro. I think he was Danish, Denmark. So anyway, long story short, great teams, very international are these teams. At least Ajax is very international. So pretty cool. All right, everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye-bye.